Hello, Safe Harbor Yogis. Great to be with you today. For those of you who have not practiced with me, my name is Jen. I've been doing yoga for the majority of my adult life and absolutely love it. So I'm hoping that I can shed some light on any of the areas of yoga that you might be curious about. So we're going to get started here. So if you can make your way down to your chair or to your mat, whatever it is that you are working off of, that would be excellent. Make sure everything's still recording. Okay, we're good. All right, everyone. So making your way to your chair, to your mat. If you're in your chair, you can sit with your back just flat against it and sit in a very relaxed position. Feet, just plant them firmly on the ground right underneath your ankles, just that they're about hip width distance. And if you are on a mat or on the floor, you're more than welcome to either sit or you can lay down for this first part. So coming into our seat, coming into the room, getting ready to find a little bit of peace for these next 20 or so moments together. And let's start by taking a deep breath and allowing that deep breath to close our eyes after, or at least to bring our gaze low. So taking this breath in, we're going to do that through the nose and out the mouth. So we'll sigh it out a bit. You're more than welcome to make sounds. You're more than welcome to sigh however you feel you need to sigh. But let that go. Let anything that's not helpful right now, that's not necessary to think about, to just kind of float past. So let's take that breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Now, just simply picturing all of those negative thoughts or nagging thoughts, that they've disappeared with that breath. They are gone, at least for now, and they don't have to bother you. So, the main part of yoga in general, it's not really the poses that are yoga. There's a whole philosophy behind it that goes as deep as you can possibly think. So one of the biggest things that I like to remind people of during classes or in simple conversation, even if they're just coming to me about questions about their own yoga practice that they have on their own time or at their homes. Um, they always mention about how they can't get into this pose perfectly, or they can't do this or that perfectly. So what I want to hone in on the meditative side of things is that life in general and yoga as well, it's a practice. It's not a yoga perfect or being a life that's perfect. It is a practice. So that means we're always students. We're going to continue to learn no matter what. There's always something out there that we're not aware of already, or that might be new news to us. So as humans, we are constantly learning and practicing what we learn, as well as if you're doing any type of meditative or yoga practice, as it's termed, um, that also isn't something that has to be perfect. It's not getting into that perfect pretzel of a pose. It's much more of just being present within your own body in that particular moment. So this is not thinking about yesterday, not thinking about the future, but simply being in the present moment. So let's try to do that now, okay? So what I would like you to do, please, if you're not already there, close your eyes or bring your eyes and gaze down to the ground, just to simply allow yourself to let go of any distractions. And what I would like you to do And you have two options. You can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, or you can just have hands in your lap. But we're going to pay attention to our breath. So something that happens all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But we might not show gratitude toward it just because it's so normal. It's something that just keeps happening. So maybe just giving a little thank you to our breath for existing, for helping us, and just showing that gratitude for your heartbeat as well. That's constantly going for us. And just coming back to those simple basics. Again, that we breathe, our hearts beat, we're alive, we can think, we can talk. That's pretty amazing. So allowing ourselves to be in this moment, feeling our breath. So honing in on that breath. So is it warm air? Is it cold? Are there any scents in the air? How does it feel as you breathe in and out in your chest, in your lungs, in your belly, where the breath might be moving the most? If it's puffing your shoulders up toward your ears, if it's bringing your belly out but not your chest, just paying attention to where things are moving, which is exactly the practice of it, is to not have to be perfect and to simply be present. So that's what we are right now, paying attention to our breath in this moment, not last moment, not a few moments from now, but simply as we are living it, that is where our attention is. So for these next few moments together, just simply knowing that breath is there, that heartbeat is there. So if you get distracted, which again, it is inevitably possible that you will. Again, there's many times that I have much more of a yoga not perfect practice, and things kind of run rampant through your mind. That's totally normal. But just giving it a good attempt to be in the moment. So if you're thinking of anything else at any time, come back and say, "Oh, I remember I have breath," and then just go back to focus on that. So gently blinking our eyes open here. Let's go ahead and let our arms just dangle by our sides. If you're on your mat, you can sit up and just kind of mimic this and just place your hands on the ground, but very lightly, and bend your elbows. But we're just going to kind of let our arms hang down. Let's bring our left arm high up into the air. So my palm is facing into the basically over toward the right side of the room, we'll put it that way, and try to spin your pinky finger that your hand is almost going to try to face back behind you. That's going to open this whole shoulder area right here in our chest. It's a big, big, good stretch. So making it even better, kind of spin that pinky down and palm faces behind slightly. And we're going to reach this left arm over toward the right. So you can sit away from the back of your chair a little bit even, and just use your posture and let yourself lean and kind of just come into this stretch. So you're feeling it all the way from your hip where your seat is, all the way through those fingertips. Maybe if it's okay on your neck and still keeping those feet planted, of course, you can bring your gaze up toward that arm. Let your right arm drop even heavier, reach a tiny bit more. Take a big inhale in. And as you exhale it out, just let that arm come back down. Wiggle it out, wiggle out that shoulder if you need to, or if that arm slightly fell asleep for a moment, just let it recirculate. And the same thing on the opposite side. So our left arm is going to hang heavy. Right arm comes up, and over top of the head. Reach over toward the left this time. Same rules apply. Spin that pinky finger down that your palm is almost facing backward. If your gaze is okay with going up toward that arm, go for it. Hold it here. Breathe into this whole right side of the body. Try to send your breath there. And on your next exhale, let the arm come down. Just let them dangle for a moment. Wiggle out the shoulders. So we went into our sides a little bit here. It's a place that we hold a lot of tension, a lot of stress, especially if we're sitting a lot. That's a big common one. So really stretching the sides of our body is important, as well as twisting. So we're going to kind of twist it. And the way I like to always think of this is it's a detoxifying pose. So if you picture let's say a washcloth or a wash rag, and you're almost like wringing out the water, that's what we're doing as we're twisting, but kind of to our organs inside of our body. It's giving them this gentle kind of massage along the way. It helps to detoxify. It helps to allow for more room for breath at the end. So as we twist and move and things kind of open up throughout our body, we may even get bigger breath in it. So it's always a neat thing. So what we're going to do for the twist, we're going to have ourselves seated. So if you're on your mat, feel free to sit up. If you're on the ground, if you're on your chair rather, it's a very similar stretch altogether. Those of you on the ground, if you can just simply bring your legs out in front of you, and then we're going to cross our left ankle over our right knee. So for those of you on the ground, this is your instruction. So we're going to just cross it over. So this foot's just going to come to the outside of that right knee. Okay, and we're just going to put the foot down. So our knee's up in the air still. And that's how we're going to anchor into our twist. So for what it's going to look like for you on the ground, a little bit as mimicking as I can get in a chair, is that you're going to hug onto this leg with your right arm and then just twist over toward the left. Okay, so that's what we're going to do on each side if you're on the ground. If you are in a chair, very similar as well. So if you all would like to follow me, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cross my left leg over my right leg. Okay, so left leg over right leg. I'm going to place my right hand on the outside of my left thigh. And you can bring your arm out and make it big and intentional by simply bringing your arm in front of you and then twisting with that arm out and bringing it as behind you as you can and reaching through those fingertips behind you. So that would just be simply, again, reaching forward, spinning the arm as that allows the chest to spin with it and allows the torso to find some space. You can use that and use this hand as leverage. So being mindful of our shoulders, that sometimes they don't want to twist all that way, but going as far back as is comfortable and really feeling that ringing feeling in your torso. Okay, so you can reach back. Also, you have the back of your chair right here. So if you just want to hook an arm on the chair as I am, you're more than welcome. And just give yourself a way to have leverage with the hands that you can gently twist yourself into that positioning. Feel the spine here as well before we change sides. Feel if there's anything different you're feeling in your shoulder blades, your spine, because that's also moving along with us here. So take one more breath in the twist toward the left. And on your next exhale, go ahead and untwist yourself, unwind. Go ahead and uncross those legs. Make any movements you need to in the meantime. And then same thing with the opposite side, guys. So those of you on the mat, you're going to cross your right foot over your left knee. So that foot will be planted on the ground, and you'll twist by hugging with your left arm over toward the right to twist. So same thing, opposite side, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to, in our seats, cross our right knee over our left knee. Place our left hand on the outside of our right thigh. And then we're going to come into that twist. So like I said, it could be really big and intentional, bringing your arm out and then going ahead and twisting all the way back and using that arm as a lever to help keep us in that position and keep pressing into this left hand on our thigh to really create a big stretch. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to grab onto the chair behind you. That is also an option. But let's hold this for 3 breaths. So take these breaths together. Take an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Untwist yourself from that pretzel that you're in. Make any moves you need to, uncross the legs. Beautiful. And just to get into our hips quickly, just because I always like to go into a hip stretch or two in any class, because we hold so much tension between our shoulders, our lower back, our hips. Those are the places that we hold a lot in, as well as the neck too. But simply giving ourselves that opportunity to open our hips where normally we're kind of just seated, right? Or we're standing. We're not trying to do anything funky with our hips in a lot of cases, but making sure that they're mobile and that those joints are lubricated around our hips. That's so, so important. So coming into a quick hip stretch, those of you who are on the ground, lay down, please, but have your feet on the ground with your knees bent. You're going to bring your feet about fingertips reach distance if you reach down by your sides. Okay, so that's where you're going to be there. Those of you in chairs, I encourage you to sit away from the back of the chair just a tiny inch or two so you can use your own posture here. So if you'd like to start with that, we're going to bring our feet about hip width distance here. And I'm going to cross my left ankle over my right knee, but this time I'm resting my ankle on my right knee, okay, or right thigh, I should say. Now, those of you on the ground, you're simply crossing that left ankle over that thigh as well, and just simply planting it there, that you're making this number 4 position with your legs. Now flex this left foot. So this left foot that's up in the air, make it as if you're standing on the wall to the side of you, so that foot is flat. Now you can see I'm holding on to my leg here. That I would encourage. It helps to brace it, that you're not going to slingshot your leg off of your other thigh, or that it's going to go too deeply into the stretch without you wanting to. So you can kind of gauge where you're at here. So let's bring our shoulders onto our backs first before we do anything else. So just go ahead and shrug them up toward your ears, bring them back onto your shoulders, back onto your back so they're not slumping forward. So we're sitting super tall. And really, the closer this left ankle is toward your body, is the harder the way the stretch is going to be. So just trying to keep that shin even with what would be in front of us. So holding on to that leg just a little bit, feeling it into that inner left hip. We're just going to do a little lean forward. So take an inhale. And on your exhale, just give yourself a little lean forward if you're in your chair. If you're on the ground, what I'd like you to do is thread the needle. So bring your left hand through that hole that we created in our legs here, and then just clasp your hands behind the back of your right thigh. So your feet are coming off the ground if you're on the ground. Otherwise, you're just going to lean forward with me. So giving yourselves that little lean. And of course, as we get deeper into this stretch, you're going to feel more. So you're going to feel some things in the outer left hip here. And again, we never want anything to hurt or pull. So just going as far as you feel your body can go. Some individuals can bring their chest all the way down to their leg. Personally, I'm about here even today, as I wake up this morning. So coming down and just leading with your heart down toward this leg. So just leaning, giving yourself that little bounce almost, letting your breath dictate where you're going. Take 2 more breaths. Let's do it together. In and out. In and out. Slowly sit up. Let go of any positioning of your legs. Lay yourself back down, uncross the legs, wiggle out however you need to, or if you want to kind of kick that left leg out or move the leg around to kind of take away the static of that pose. And then doing the same thing on the opposite side. So this time right ankle over left thigh. So bringing ourselves into the same stretch, all the same rules apply. We're just going to go right into it. So take an inhale and exhale. Bring those legs toward your body. If you are on the ground, bring your body to your legs if you're in your chair. So leaning yourself that little bit forward, using your hands to brace this leg and kind of keep it where it's supposed to be. We're going to take a few more breaths here on our own. Two more in total, doing those together. Inhale, exhale. One last time, inhale and exhale. Slowly sitting ourselves back up here. Wiggle out that left leg however you need, or right leg rather, however you need. And then lastly, getting a tiny bit into the shoulders before we say goodbye for now. So for our shoulders here, let's go ahead and shrug them up toward our ears, kind of make it uncomfortable for a moment, and then bring your shoulders and even your elbows back as you roll your shoulders back onto your back and kind of come into that posture where your chest is puffing forward. So coming into that, keeping that straight spine, those relaxed shoulders. We're going to swing our arms out to the sides here. So bringing them up like you're going to clasp something high over top of your head. And then we're just going to bring our arms down like goalpost arms. And what I'd like you to do is move those elbows back behind you ever so slightly. So just even easing them back an inch or two, you'll feel that in your chest, which is where I kind of want to get to. So take a deep breath in here. And as we exhale, we're going to close our arms together in front of us. So exhale and close. Inhale and open the arms. Exhale, close the arms. And one last time, inhale, open the arms, bring those elbows slightly back behind you, open up that chest and those shoulders. And as we exhale this time, we're going to bring our palms together, but we're going to bring them right down to our heart. So anchoring our knuckles into our chest here, into our sternum. Close the eyes or bring the gaze low once more. Just having that one last internal moment. And remember, throughout your day, throughout your week, again, life is not meant to be perfect. Yoga practices are not meant to be perfect, and every day is practice. So, giving ourselves a little bit of gratitude for coming out and practicing today, learning something new, opening your minds, and also giving thanks for everyone around you who's also sharing their own breath, sharing their own experience. We're going to end with the word that means the light in me sees and honors the light in you, which is namaste. So either out loud or in your head, bow your head down toward your hands. Just show some gratitude toward yourself and say or thank the word namaste. Thank you so, so much, everyone. So I will see you all next week. If you should have any questions at all whatsoever, please feel free to bring anything up to Sarah and she will forward it over to me. Have a great week, guys. I'll see you again soon.